Captain Marcus Hayes tightened his grip on the control panel as the ship shook violently. Red lights flashed all around the cockpit, and the warning alarms screamed in his ears. The research vessel Artemis was losing power fast. He fought to keep the ship steady, but the engines were failing one by one. "We're going down," Marcus said aloud, even though he was alone in the cockpit. His voice was calm, but his heart raced. He scanned the controls for any way to fix the damage. The main engine had exploded, and the backup was overheating. There was no chance to stay in space. He needed to land. Fast. Outside the window, he could see the stars blur as the ship tumbled toward the surface of a strange planet below. The atmosphere was thick with clouds of green and purple, strange colors he had never seen before. He had no idea where he was, but he hoped the planet was safe enough to survive the crash. "Brace for impact," Marcus whispered to himself, pulling the emergency lever. The ship slammed into the ground with a terrible crash. The hull cracked and groaned, metal screeching against rock. Marcus felt his body jerk forward, then slam back into his seat. The whole ship shook violently as it skidded across the rough terrain before coming to a final stop. For a moment, silence. Then, the cockpit's emergency systems kicked in, stabilizing the ship's atmosphere. Marcus coughed, feeling dust and smoke fill the small space. His arm was bleeding where it hit the console, and his leg was numb, but he was alive. He took a deep breath and looked around. The Artemis was badly damaged. Most of the ship's systems were offline, and he had no way to call for help. His comms were broken. The only thing working was the emergency beacon, but it was weak and could take days to send a signal across the galaxy. Marcus knew he had to act quickly. He gathered his medical kit, some tools, and a portable energy blade for protection. His first goal was simple: find a safe place and assess his injuries. He opened the hatch and stepped outside. The air was thick but breathable. The ground was covered in strange plants with glowing leaves. The sky was dark, but the strange colors of the clouds gave everything an eerie light. Marcus took a slow step forward, then another. He could feel the pain in his leg growing worse, but he pushed through it. Every sound made him tense. The crack of a distant branch, the flutter of strange birds overhead. He was alone on an alien world. As he walked, Marcus tried to think. His ship was broken. Help was far away. He needed to find shelter and maybe, just maybe, friendly life forms. Hours passed as Marcus explored the area around the crash site. The plants became denser and the air cooler. Suddenly, he heard a low, deep sound nearby, a growl mixed with a rumble. He froze. The noise came closer. His hand instinctively went to his energy blade. Out of the shadows stepped a tall figure, unlike anything Marcus had seen. It had 4 arms, smooth blue skin that shimmered in the dim light, and glowing eyes that seemed to look right through him. The creature stopped, watching him silently. Marcus held up his hands to show he meant no harm. The creature tilted its head, then slowly stepped back into the shadows. Marcus exhaled sharply. He was not alone. He followed the creature's path carefully, keeping his distance. Soon, he found himself in a large clearing surrounded by strange crystal trees. At the center lay a huge figure, a being much larger than the first, with an air of royalty. Her skin was a deep purple, covered in elegant markings that glowed softly. One of her legs was bent at an odd angle, clearly broken. Marcus's heart raced. This was no ordinary alien. This was a queen, a leader of her people, and she was hurt badly. He approached slowly, kneeling beside her. "Can you hear me?" he asked gently. The queen's eyes fluttered open, and she looked at him with pain and surprise. Her voice was soft but strong. "You, a human. Why are you here?" Marcus smiled weakly. "I'm here by accident. My ship crashed. I want to help." She studied him for a moment, then nodded. "You have courage. Come, heal me." Marcus set to work, using his medical training. He had no advanced tools, but he was careful and steady. He cleaned the wounds, set the broken leg as best he could, and wrapped it with what little he had. The queen winced, but did not complain. As he worked, Marcus learned her name was Naira. She told him of her people, the Xilari, who had lived on Viridia for thousands of years. She explained that a recent attack from a rival species had left her injured and her people vulnerable. Marcus listened closely. He knew his chances of fixing the ship soon were slim. But maybe, if he could help Naira and her people, they could help him in return. As night fell, Marcus rested near the queen, feeling a new sense of purpose. He was far from home, but here on this alien world, he was not just a survivor. He might be the key to something greater. The morning light spilled softly through the crystal trees, casting a gentle glow over the clearing where Marcus sat beside Queen Naira. The queen rested on a bed of soft leaves and moss, her broken leg carefully wrapped in bandages Marcus had made from strips of cloth and plant fibers. She watched him with quiet eyes, still filled with pain, but also something new, curiosity. Marcus felt the ache in his own leg remind him that he had barely escaped the crash without serious injury himself. But his focus was on Naira. He had no advanced medical tools beyond his small kit, yet he was determined to help her heal. He knew that if she recovered, it might change everything. A soft rustling sound came from the edge of the clearing. Marcus looked up to see the blue-skinned alien he had seen the day before. It moved with grace and caution, watching Marcus closely. This was one of the Xilari guards, tasked with protecting their queen. The guard's eyes narrowed when it saw Marcus so close to Naira, but the queen raised a hand in a calm gesture. "He is a healer," she said softly, "and a friend." The guard hesitated, then nodded and disappeared back into the trees. Marcus felt a mix of relief and unease. He was a stranger in this alien world. Trust was fragile. Every moment counted. The next days passed slowly but steadily. Marcus worked carefully, cleaning the queen's wounds and checking her progress. His human hands were steady, and his knowledge of basic anatomy helped him apply treatments that the Xilari healers had not considered. His use of antiseptics and pain relief was new to them. Naira watched him closely. Though her pride as a leader made it hard for her to show weakness, she could not hide her gratitude. She often spoke softly about the history of her people, the Xilari, how they had built a great civilization on Viridia, mastering advanced technology and a deep understanding of nature. But she also told Marcus about their enemies, a fierce species called the Koran, who had attacked recently and wounded her during a battle. Marcus listened and learned. Every story, every detail made him more determined to help. But he also felt the weight of his own situation. His ship was still broken, and his communication devices were silent. He was a stranger in a strange land, but he was needed here. One afternoon, as Marcus was tending to Naira's leg, a group of Xilari entered the clearing. They were the queen's healers, tall and slender with glowing tattoos that pulsed softly on their skin. At first, they watched Marcus with suspicion, but then one of them stepped forward. "You treat the queen with skill," she said, her voice calm but serious. "We have studied her wounds for days and could not heal her as you have." Marcus nodded respectfully. "I have some medical training. I'm used to working with limited tools, but I believe in careful care and patience." The healers exchanged glances. One of them, a woman named Sila, approached Marcus with a mixture of respect and curiosity. "Your methods are unusual but effective," Sila admitted. "Perhaps there is much we can learn from you." Marcus smiled. "And I can learn from you too." Over the next week, Marcus and the Xilari healers began to work together. He showed them some human techniques, like how to use certain plants for pain relief and how to clean wounds more thoroughly. They shared their own knowledge of advanced healing technologies that Marcus had never seen before. It was an unusual partnership, one built on trust, respect, and the shared goal of healing their queen. Slowly, the pain in Naira's leg lessened. She began to stand with support, testing the strength of her healing bones. One evening, as the twin moons of Viridia rose high in the sky, Naira spoke quietly to Marcus. "You have brought hope to my people," she said. "Your courage and skill have changed the fate of the Xelari. How did you learn such healing?" Marcus shrugged. "Back on Earth, we learn to care for others because it's the right thing to do. We have to be ready for anything. Sometimes, it's not technology but kindness that heals best." Naira looked thoughtful. "You humans are stronger than I believed." But not everyone in the Xelari court welcomed Marcus. Whispers of distrust spread among the queen's advisors and guards. Some saw him as a threat, an outsider who did not belong. They questioned why the queen trusted a human more than her own people. One night, Marcus overheard a conversation among the guards. "He is dangerous," one guard whispered. "He could be a spy or worse." Another replied, "But the queen favors him. What can we do?" Marcus felt a cold knot in his stomach. He had to prove his loyalty, not just by healing the queen, but by protecting her and her people. That opportunity came sooner than he expected. One day, while exploring the outskirts of the Xelari settlement, Marcus noticed signs of trouble. Tracks from strange creatures, large and heavy, marked the ground. The Koran were close. He hurried back to the clearing and found Naira with her council. Marcus explained what he had seen. "The Koran will come again," he warned. "We must prepare." Naira's face hardened with determination. "We will not let them take our home." Marcus offered his help. "I can help train your warriors. Humans have fought many battles. Maybe I can teach you some tactics." Some of the council members frowned, but Naira nodded. "We accept your help." As Marcus began working with the Xelari warriors, teaching them human strategies for defense and teamwork, he felt a growing bond with the alien people. He was no longer just a survivor. He was becoming part of their fight, their future. Night after night, he stayed by Naira's side, ensuring her recovery. Slowly but surely, her strength returned. Her leg healed enough for her to walk without support. One evening, as the sun set behind the crystal trees, Naira surprised Marcus. "Come with me," she said. She led him through the settlement, past the glowing buildings and curious Xelari watching them. At the center of the city stood a great hall, ancient and magnificent. Inside, Naira introduced Marcus to her council as the queen's healer and trusted advisor. The room filled with cautious but respectful silence. Marcus looked at the faces around him, some filled with doubt, others with hope. He realized that healing Naira's broken leg was only the beginning. If he wanted to survive on Viridia and help his new allies, he had to earn their trust and prove the strength of humanity's spirit. That night, Marcus stood outside, looking up at the stars. He thought of Earth, his home so far away, and the strange new world where he had landed by chance. He knew the road ahead would be difficult, but one thing was certain. In this place of aliens and wonders, only a human could heal the broken. And maybe, just maybe, change the fate of an entire civilization. The days after Marcus was officially introduced to the Xelari Council felt like walking on a thin line. The room where the council met was vast and high-ceilinged, lit by glowing crystals that hummed softly. Each council member was tall, regal, with skin colors ranging from deep violet to shimmering blue. Their eyes held intelligence but also doubt, some more open than others to the presence of a human. Marcus knew his place was still uncertain. He was a stranger here, an outsider who had gained the queen's trust, but not yet the full acceptance of her people. Every word he spoke, every action he took, would be watched closely. Queen Naira sat beside him, her broken leg now strong enough to bear her weight. She moved with grace and authority, and when she spoke, the council listened. "Our survival depends on more than strength alone," Naira said. "We must embrace new ways, even if they come from the most unexpected sources." Marcus admired her courage. It was rare for a leader to take such risks, especially with a foreigner. That evening, Marcus was invited to stay in the royal quarters, a beautiful chamber filled with plants, soft lights, and strange artwork depicting the history of the auxiliary people. Despite the luxury, Marcus felt the weight of responsibility heavy on his shoulders. As he prepared a simple meal from rations the auxiliary had offered, Nyara entered quietly. "Do you sleep well?" she asked. Marcus smiled faintly. "As well as one can after a crash landing on an alien world." Nyara laughed softly, a sound that carried warmth. "You have done more than heal my leg. You have opened a door to peace." Marcus nodded. But peace needs trust, and trust must be earned. The next morning, Marcus joined the Queen and her council in planning how to protect Viridia from the Koran threat. The Koran were fierce warriors with sharp claws and armored hides, known for their brutal attacks on weaker planets. Nyara explained the challenge. The Koran had recently attacked their outposts, disrupting vital supplies and weakening their defenses. Without help, the auxiliary risked losing their home. Marcus listened carefully. Though he had never faced aliens like the Koran before, he understood the basics of strategy and tactics. He offered ideas based on his military training back on Earth, using ambushes, traps, and quick strikes rather than only direct battle. Some council members nodded thoughtfully, but others remained skeptical. "You speak as if war is simple," one elder said. "But the Koran are unlike any enemy we have faced." Marcus met the elder's gaze steadily. "No war is simple, but sometimes a fresh view can make the difference." As the days passed, Marcus worked closely with the auxiliary warriors, teaching them how to move quietly through the dense forests, how to use their environment for cover, and how to plan coordinated attacks. The auxiliary were quick learners, and their natural agility made them excellent fighters. One afternoon, Marcus led a small group on a training exercise. The warriors moved like shadows, silent and precise. Marcus felt a sense of pride watching their progress. This was more than survival, it was a partnership. But with every step forward, Marcus could feel the tension among the auxiliary. Some still questioned his place. The guards who once watched him with suspicion now studied his every move. Meanwhile, Nyara's health continued to improve. Her leg was nearly healed, and she was beginning to resume her duties fully. Marcus stayed close, ready to help whenever needed. They shared moments of quiet conversation, where Nyara spoke of her hopes for her people and the weight of leadership. "You humans have a strange strength," Nyara said one evening as they watched the twin moons rise. "It is not just in your bodies, but in your hearts." Marcus smiled. "Maybe it's because we have no choice. We have to keep going, no matter what." Nyara nodded. "That is why I believe we can stand together." One day, news came that the Koran had been seen moving closer to Viridia's borders. Panic rippled through the settlement. Scouts reported signs of an imminent attack. Marcus and Nyara immediately began planning defenses. They organized patrols and set traps in the forest. Marcus's knowledge of human warfare became invaluable. That night, Marcus sat with Nyara as she reviewed the plans. "Are you afraid?" Marcus asked. Nyara looked at him, her eyes steady. "Fear is natural, but it cannot rule us. We must be ready to fight, for our land, for our future." Marcus admired her bravery. "Then we will fight together." The attack came at dawn. The sky was heavy with fog as the Koran forces emerged from the trees, sharp claws glinting and battle cries echoing. The auxiliary warriors, now trained by Marcus, were ready. They moved swiftly, using the traps and tactics they had practiced. Marcus fought alongside them, his energy blade humming as he moved with purpose. The battle was fierce and chaotic, but the auxiliary held their ground. At one point, Nyara found herself surrounded by enemies. She fought with strength and skill, but one Koran managed to strike her leg, causing her to stumble. Marcus was there in an instant, pulling her to safety. He quickly assessed her injury and used the medical knowledge he had shared to treat the wound. Nyara gritted her teeth, refusing to show pain. "You saved me," she said quietly. Marcus shook his head. "We save each other." After the battle, the Xilari had won a hard-fought victory. The Koran retreated into the forest, but Marcus knew this was only the beginning. The council gathered to discuss their next steps. Many spoke with respect for Marcus, their views changed by his courage and wisdom. One elder approached Marcus privately. "You have changed the course of our people," he said. "Your presence here is a sign of new beginnings." Marcus felt a deep sense of responsibility. He was far from home, but here he had found purpose. As the sun set on the battlefield, Marcus stood beside Naira once more. Her leg was healing well, stronger each day. "Your people have great faith in you," Marcus said. Naira smiled softly. "And I have faith in you." Their alliance was fragile, tested by war and doubt, but it was real. Together, they would face the challenges ahead, because sometimes it was only a human who could heal not just a broken leg, but an entire civilization. The quiet after the battle was brief. Though the Koran had been pushed back, Marcus and Queen Naira both knew the threat was far from over. The air on Viridia was thick with tension, and the people moved with a mix of hope and fear. Marcus found himself walking through the city with Naira one morning. The sunlight filtered through the glowing crystal trees, making the buildings shimmer like jewels. Despite the beauty, Marcus could see the worry etched on the faces of the Xilari citizens. The recent attacks had shaken them deeply. Naira spoke softly as they walked. "Viridia has been our home for many centuries, but it hides more than just its beauty." Marcus glanced at her, curious. "What do you mean?" "The planet holds secrets," Naira said. "Ancient technology buried beneath the surface. Power that could change everything." Marcus was intrigued. "Why haven't you used it?" Naira sighed. "Because with great power comes great risk. It is not meant to be wielded without wisdom." That afternoon, Naira led Marcus to a hidden chamber beneath the royal palace. The walls glowed with strange symbols, and soft humming filled the air. The Xilari technology was unlike anything Marcus had ever seen. Machines that seemed alive, responding to thoughts and emotions. A large console displayed holographic images of the planet, its ecosystems, and energy flows. Naira explained that the Xilari had used this technology to maintain balance on Viridia for centuries. But during the recent wars, much of it had been damaged or locked away to prevent misuse. Marcus listened carefully, fascinated by the complexity and beauty of it all. "This technology could help us defend against the Koran," Marcus said, "but it needs repair." Naira nodded. "Our best engineers are working on it, but progress is slow. We must be cautious." Over the next several days, Marcus spent hours with the Xilari engineers, learning about their technology and sharing human ideas. His fresh perspective sparked new approaches to repairing the ancient machines. One evening, while working late in the chamber, Marcus noticed something unusual on a holographic map. There was a faint energy signature coming from deep beneath the planet's surface, an area long thought inactive. Naira entered the room, her eyes widening as she saw the map. "That region was sealed off centuries ago," she said. "It is dangerous. Many believe something powerful sleeps there." Marcus frowned. Could that power be used against the Koran? Naira hesitated. "It could. But if we awaken it without control, it might destroy us all." Despite the risks, the council agreed to investigate the energy source. Marcus joined a small team of Xilari explorers to journey deep underground, into ancient tunnels filled with strange crystals and glowing fungi. The air was thick and damp, and every step echoed through the dark halls. Marcus used his flashlight and sensors to guide the group through the maze of passages. After hours of exploration, they reached a vast chamber. In the center stood a massive structure pulsing with energy, a forgotten machine that seemed to breathe with life. Naira approached cautiously. "This is the heart of Viridia," she said, "a source of immense power created by our ancestors." Marcus marveled at the sight. "If we can learn to control this, it might protect your people." Naira nodded, but her face was serious, or it could endanger them. Back in the city, Tensions grew as news of the discovery spread. Some Xilari saw the heart as a chance to win the war quickly. Others feared its power and warned against using it. Marcus understood both sides. He spoke to the council, urging caution but also encouraging hope. "We must use our strengths wisely," he said, "not just our technology, but our trust and unity." Naira supported him. "Together, we can face any threat." Meanwhile, Marcus continued training the warriors and assisting with medical care. His human methods, combined with Xilari technology, were improving the health and strength of the defenders. One day, a message arrived from the Artemis's emergency beacon. The signal was weak, but clear enough to send a call for help. Marcus felt a rush of relief mixed with new determination. He shared the news with Naira and her council. "Help is coming," he said, "but it might be too late to wait." Naira smiled. "Then we will stand ready, with or without them." As the days passed, Marcus and Naira grew closer. Their conversations went beyond strategy and survival. They talked about their worlds, their dreams, and the future they hoped to build. Naira revealed the deep connection the Xilari had with Viridia, not just as a home, but as a living, breathing entity. She explained how the planet's life and technology were linked in a delicate balance. Marcus felt honored to learn these secrets. He realized that healing Naira's broken leg was only the start. Now he was part of something bigger, a fragile alliance between two very different species, united by hope and courage. That night, Marcus stood outside the palace, looking up at the stars. He thought about Earth, far away, and about Viridia, a world full of wonders and dangers. He whispered to himself, "Only a human could heal this broken world. And maybe only a human could help save it." The peaceful days that Marcus had hoped for were short-lived. The Koran were stronger than anyone had imagined. Despite the careful preparations, their forces returned, more numerous and more determined to claim Viridia. The tension in the Xilari city grew thick like a heavy fog, and the people braced for the battle they feared. Marcus stood beside Queen Naira as she inspected the warriors in the training grounds. The queen's leg had healed well, but she still moved cautiously. Her face showed both strength and worry. "We must be ready," Naira said, her voice firm. "This fight will decide the future of our people." Marcus nodded. "We've prepared as best we can, but we need to be smart, use every advantage." As night fell, scouts reported that the Koran were approaching in full force. The enemy moved like shadows through the dense forests surrounding the city, their sharp claws scraping against trees, their eyes glowing in the dark. Marcus helped organize the city's defenses. Using a mix of human strategy and Xilari technology, they set traps and barriers around the main entrances to the city. The Xilari warriors moved with silent precision, ready to defend their home. Naira stood at the city's gate, leading her people with calm determination. Marcus stayed close, ready to assist her or anyone who needed help. The battle began just before dawn. The first wave of Koran charged at the city's walls with fierce cries. The Xilari warriors met them with energy weapons that glowed brightly in the morning light. Marcus fought alongside them, his energy blade cutting through the chaos. The battle was fierce and fast. The Koran were brutal, using their claws and strength to break through defenses. But the Xilari fought with skill and strategy, supported by the traps Marcus had helped design. Amid the chaos, Marcus saw Naira fighting at the front lines. Her leg was strong, but the injury was still fresh, and she moved carefully. She struck with power and grace, inspiring her warriors. Suddenly, a group of Koran broke through a side gate, heading straight for the city's heart, the royal palace. Alarmed, Marcus and a few warriors rushed to intercept them. As they fought, Marcus noticed a large Koran leader directing the attackers with sharp signals. This enemy was smarter and more dangerous than the others. The fight was intense. Marcus used every skill he had learned to protect the palace. The Koran leader was strong and fast, but Marcus held his ground. Then Naira appeared, her eyes fierce. She charged at the Koran leader with a battle cry. The two clashed, their weapons sparking with energy. In the heat of the battle, Nyara was struck by a powerful blow. Her leg twisted awkwardly, and she fell to the ground with a cry of pain. The Koran leader sneered, ready to strike again. Marcus didn't hesitate. He threw himself between the queen and the enemy, blocking the attack with his energy blade. The force of the strike sent him stumbling, but he held firm. With a quick move, Marcus struck the Koran leader's weapon, disarming him. The leader snarled but retreated with his remaining forces. Marcus rushed to Nyara's side. She was breathing hard, her face pale with pain. "I will heal you," Marcus said, gently examining her leg. Using everything he knew, Marcus worked quickly. The injury was worse this time. Bone cracked and bleeding. But Marcus was calm, steadying Nyara with his voice as he cleaned and dressed the wound. Nyara winced but trusted him completely. "You saved my life again," she whispered. Marcus smiled softly. "We save each other." As the sun rose, the battle was over. The Koran had been pushed back, but at a great cost. The city was scared, and many warriors were injured. The Auxiliary Council gathered to assess the damage. Despite the losses, there was a new sense of hope. Marcus's bravery and skill had changed the tide of battle. One council member stood and spoke. "The human has proven himself not just a healer, but a warrior and a leader." Nyara nodded. "He is part of our people now." In the days that followed, Marcus continued to care for Nyara and the wounded. His knowledge of medicine combined with Scifi technology saved many lives. But the battle had also awakened something deeper on Viridia. The energy from the ancient heart of Viridia pulsed stronger, as if responding to the conflict. Marcus and Nyara knew that the true test was yet to come. The power beneath the planet could be their greatest weapon or their greatest danger. Together, they would face whatever came next, because in this war, only a human could heal wounds that went beyond the body and inspire hope where it was needed most. The battle had left scars on the city of Viridia and on the hearts of its people. Though the Koran threat was pushed back, the price was high. Marcus spent his days tending to the wounded and helping rebuild the defenses. Queen Nyara's leg was healing, but the strain of leadership weighed heavily on her. One morning, Marcus was summoned to the royal hall. The room was filled with light from the glowing crystals embedded in the walls, casting soft colors on the polished floor. Nyara sat on her throne, regal and strong despite the challenges she faced. "Marcus," she said, her voice steady and clear, "your courage and skill have saved not only my life, but the future of the Auxiliary. For this, I offer you a gift, one that no outsider has ever received." Marcus felt a mixture of surprise and honor. He bowed respectfully. "I am grateful, Your Majesty. I only did what I could." Nyara smiled softly. "You did more than that. You brought hope." Nyara rose and stepped down from her throne. She walked to a pedestal near the center of the hall, where an ancient artifact rested. It was a small, intricately carved object made of a shining metal that shimmered with inner light. The artifact seemed alive, pulsing gently with energy. "This is the Heartstone," Nyara explained. "It is a symbol of trust and alliance in Scifi history. Only those who have earned the deepest respect of our people may hold it." Marcus reached out and took the Heartstone carefully. The moment he touched it, a warm sensation spread through his body, a quiet strength that seemed to connect him to the planet itself. Nyara continued, "With this, you are not just a healer or warrior. You are a part of the Auxiliary. You have our trust and our friendship." The council members watched in silence, some with guarded expressions, others with genuine respect. Marcus knew that this gift was more than symbolic. It was a bond, a promise of unity between two very different species. Nyara then turned to her council. "Let this be a new beginning. Together, we will protect Viridia and build a future where humans and Scifi stand as one." After the ceremony, Marcus stepped outside the hall. The city bustled with renewed energy. People looked at him differently now, not just as a stranger, but as a friend and ally. As he walked through the streets, Marcus felt the weight of the Heartstone in his hand. It was a reminder of everything he had been through and everything still to come. He thought about Earth, his home so far away, and how fate had brought him here to this alien world. He was no longer just a survivor. He was a bridge between two worlds. That evening, Marcus joined Nyara in the palace garden. The twin moons of Viridia hung low in the sky, casting a silver light over the flowers and crystal trees. Nyara spoke quietly. "The Koran may return, but we are stronger now, together." Marcus nodded. "And with this Heartstone, I feel connected to Viridia in a way I never imagined." Nyara smiled. "You have healed more than my leg, Marcus. You have healed my people's hope." Over the following days, Marcus worked with the auxiliary engineers to unlock more secrets of the ancient technology. The Heartstone seemed to react to his touch, guiding their efforts in ways no one expected. With renewed energy, the auxiliary began to repair and reactivate devices that could strengthen their defenses and improve the lives of their people. Marcus's knowledge of human innovation combined with auxiliary wisdom created a powerful new force. Meanwhile, scouts reported that the Koran were regrouping for a larger attack. The threat was real, but the auxiliary were ready. Marcus trained alongside the warriors, sharing tactics and teaching them to trust in their new strength. One evening, Nyara called Marcus to her side. "When this war is over, I want you to stay here, not just as an ally, but as a leader among us." Marcus looked at her, surprised but honored. "I will do whatever is needed." Nyara placed a hand on his shoulder. "Together, we will build a future where no one fears the night." As the moonlight bathed the city, Marcus felt hope rising within him. The road ahead would be difficult, but with the Heartstone and the trust of the auxiliary, he was ready to face whatever challenges came next. Because sometimes, only a human could heal what was broken and inspire a new dawn for an entire world. The sun rose over Viridia, casting warm light on a land that had endured war, pain, and hope. The city, once scared from battle, now buzzed with renewed energy. Repaired buildings glowed softly in the morning light, and the people moved with a sense of purpose and peace. Marcus stood on a balcony overlooking the city, the Heartstone glowing gently in his hand. It was a symbol of trust, a reminder of the journey he had taken from a lone survivor to a leader among the auxiliary. Queen Nyara joined him, her step steady and sure. The pain from her old injuries had faded, replaced by strength born from healing and courage. "Look at how far we have come," she said softly. Marcus smiled. "It's more than I ever imagined. We've built something new here." Nyara nodded, not just for the auxiliary or humans, but for all who believe in peace. The council had gathered that morning to discuss the future. The Koran threat had lessened, their forces scattered and weakened. Thanks to the combined strength of the auxiliary and the human strategies Marcus had taught, Viridia was safe, for now. Marcus presented new plans to improve the city's defenses and heal the planet itself. Using the ancient technology awakened by the Heartstone, the auxiliary worked to restore the natural balance that had been disturbed by war. "This planet is alive," Marcus said during the council meeting. "If we protect it, it will protect us." The council agreed, inspired by his vision. As days passed, Marcus and Nyara worked side by side. Their partnership grew stronger, built on respect, trust, and a shared dream of a better future. One afternoon, they visited a field where young auxiliary and human children played together, learning each other's languages and games. Marcus watched as a young boy and girl laughed, their differences forgotten. "This is what we fight for," Nyara said. Marcus nodded, "A future where we all belong." But the peace was fragile. Messages arrived from neighboring planets warning of new dangers and alliances forming against them. The universe was vast, and threats could come from any corner. Marcus understood the truth. This was only the beginning of a long journey. But now, The Exilarian humans stood united, ready for whatever came next. One evening, under the twin moons of Viridia, Marcus and Nyara sat together on the palace terrace. "You've healed more than my leg," Nyara said quietly. "You healed my people's hope." Marcus looked at her. "And you gave me a home." They both smiled, knowing their bond was stronger than words. As the stars twinkled above, Marcus felt a deep peace. He thought of Earth, his distant home, and the strange, beautiful world where he had found a new life. Only a human could heal what was broken, not just in body, but in spirit. And in doing so, they could light the way to a new dawn.